Yo, crypto nation and mining family. Crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? Of course, like always, it's not financial advice. Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on out there? So let me just go ahead and dig right on into the juicy stuff. So if you didn't catch me on DCA Adventure the other day, you would have heard me sitting there talking a little bit about risers. So these were the OG risers that I started off with, the version 6s. I liked them because they had the 6-pin connector on there. It was like the number one thing you made sure you had. No Molex, no SATA, just 6-pin horsepower. But these things had the failure rate of just turning it on and off. And these things would just commit suicide. And whenever you turn it back on, you either the rig would no longer see that card, or it would hash at half capacity and just act weird. Oh, so annoying with this thing. So over time I started looking for better options. That's when I came across these ones. They had all the power options on there, but the only one I was interested in is the 6-pin. And I was like, oh, it's in the wrong spot. Oh, this thing, it like puts your cables like right against the back of the card and everything. So you're looping wires in front of cards, so it's harder to tighten your cards together. It makes you want to use the SATA. I just recommend not to. That's just me. Because this thing should be able to pull 75 watts at will. They'll sit there and they'll run fine. It's like the version 6s. These ones would resist on and off failures, but over time they would fail, like this one did. I think this one actually went while it was running. No apparent reason, just commit suicide. That's when I came across these ones. Had my 6-pin in the right spot. Yes. These ones would work the best for the longest time. Like, I'd have a random failure here and there. This one is actually still good. Nothing wrong with this one. I think this is one of the last remaining ones that I have of this style still working. And then come down to the reason why I'm talking about risers today. So, as you guys know, I have the BCU 1525s. I was doing some spring cleaning, pulling some stuff out of the mining room, cleaning, you know, being a good mining person and cleaning everything up. And in order to get some of the stuff from behind the mining racks out, I had to turn off my FPGA rig, set it onto the table here in the living room, and clean everything up. Everything else survived. I didn't even turn everything else off. Me and the wife just moved over one of the racks and gave me enough room to do what I needed to do, and then we moved it back. Everything survived. Whenever I put the BCU rig, the FPGAs, back in its spot, turned it back on, I got a big old whiff of electrical. I was like, oh, right? And I looked over at the BCUs, and one had lights and the other one didn't. I was like, huh. There was a lot of F-bombs, I won't lie. I thought I burnt up an FPGA. So I ripped that sucker apart, because if you can smell the electrical burn, you should be able to take it apart and smell it. I don't care if nothing looks burnt. You should be able to smell what fried. You should be able to smell the area. I don't care. If there was enough to stink up the room, there's a trace mark of something committing suicide. So I had the BCU tore down to its bare naked circuitry. Looking at it, nothing. Couldn't smell anything. And I'm like, that's odd. So I took this riser, that's from Squirrel. So you would think that Squirrel would know to over-engineer this to be able to handle it. So plug in that BCU into this, no lights. Took the other one I had, plugged that into there, lit up. I'm like, at least I know the FPGA's okay. Hallelujah. Oh my God. So I stopped dropping as many F-bombs, and I gave this thing the... Oh. Days later, this thing still stinks. I'm telling you. They thought that by putting a heat sink for a Raspberry Pi on this would be good enough for it, right? No, we don't need to engineer it. We just need to figure out how to keep this below the heat threshold, right? Why not over-engineer it so that the heat is not an issue, right? The guy that I bought the FPGAs off of, you know, he was already mining on them. He's like, you got good risers? I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, oh man, I'll toss in a couple from Squirrel, man, just in case. He's like, I'd use them. I'm like, all right. So I was using them. I did. I did. Until this thing just went committed suicide. Now the ones that I like to use are these ones. These are the upgrade to these. So these are both these are 103Cs, but they were a variant of a version 9, an early day version 9. This one was the granddaddy upgrade. So I've got better power distribution. I haven't had a single failure. Well, one. One died. One. I've got like 22 of them on my rigs or something like that. This one is one of the last remaining ones of this one, so I need to buy more risers. These ones, I have to find the link actually for where I bought these. I think they were Newegg. I want to say they were Newegg. I could be wrong. Could have been Amazon. It was one of the two. I'm going to have to hunt around and see which one, because I want to buy more of these particular ones. Or if they make an upgrade to this exact style. I like the idea that I've got 2 rows of power management on here. I've yet to have any weirdness. Now on the Squirrel, where this little heatsink is, that's covering this little power shunt right here. I mean, this thing exploded on it. I want to take this off and I want to see it. Yeah, it doesn't even look bad. It just committed suicide. I bet you I can get a new one of those and solder it onto the board and this thing will work. I bet you. I bet you this thing, this stupid little heat sink here was holding in heat on there and caused this thing to fry out faster. Man, I want to get a hot air rework station. They're like $200, $200-300, something like that. I kind of want to get one so I can start like playing around with this stuff. I bet you I can make this work. I bet you that's all that's wrong with it, and it's because of this. But other news, yo. Oh yeah, a little TA from a friendly trader, from a friendly miner, you know. I don't know nothing, but if you had been part of Jay's group from DCA Adventure and the Patreon and DCA Your Trading, you would have seen me for the last week posting my chart that I charted a week before that, going, I think it's gonna do this. And it's been playing out pretty nicely, actually. I've got what I believe is a normal growth line here from the very beginning of Bitcoin. So I mean, we've bounced off of it once already. So I mean, we're in the range of where I think would be normal. Anything in the middle on the ranges, I think will be fine. I also have my top end line here where it is acted multiple times as resistance. Anytime we break above it, it's like, and it's back. We didn't even stay above it that long. Every time we came up, it was like we were trying to get pulled right back down to it. Bam! And then broke underneath it. We had like, what, 1, 2, 3 tests on it, and then on the 4th one we dropped under, and then it's just been a bear trying to get above it. So we did eventually break that the trend, you know, and as a lot of people say, the trend is your friend until the end. Well, it's the end. I think our next level that we can be looking at is in that $8,000 range, which really isn't bad. That's like, you know, having Bitcoin on sale. For me, that is a great buying opportunity, but I'd want to see it hit the 8,000 and hold. If I see it hold it, we're good. If it can't hold it, I think we're dropping to 7,000, and that's where we're gonna sit there and bounce in between for a little while before we start the next cycle. There is the possibility that we could drop all the way down and retest the bottom of what I believe the channel is, which would be like right around 4,700. So hopefully we don't hit there. I mean, I hope we hit there. So that's, to me, a very great buying opportunity. I will dollar cost average at them lows, but that's not financial advice. That's just something that I would do. I know some people look at the futures on here. I think that from this little gap, I think with the dead cat bounce, I think we've fulfilled that. There are no real other gaps that we can really fill that we haven't already. So don't think that, oh my God, CME futures are dictating the future. No, they're not. You're just seeing time of close to time of open the next day. They don't trade the same. Futures get traded on a different time scale. That's why you see gaps form occasionally. That actually happens in all futures markets. I'm just saying. You get a lot of buy pressure or sell pressure right at the end of the day. They don't get fulfilled until the next day, and then upon opening bell, it takes a drop immediately. So there's that. So don't get into the futures contract stuff. That's a whole different market. But talking about a whole different market, AMD's BIG NAVI has been decoded. Oh yeah. So we've been hearing about this, Navi refresh for a while. But AMD has confirmed that they are not only working on RDNA 2, but they are also working on RDNA 3 architectures. So this is going to start showing that they've got a few things that they've been cooking up in the background, just kind of, doing the AMD thing. They've been sitting there trying to make a great product with their CPUs. It's about time they start focusing in on their GPUs to start doing the same thing. So there were rumors that AMD is going to be launching this year, but it is not as likely. I think that they're going to be doing an announcement from Computex 2020, which that has been postponed due to human malware. On websites called Hardware Leaks, which belongs to Row Games, Navi 21 GPUs IDs have been shared. This is not an empty list. The IDs have been tied to GPU variants, which is very interesting, as it explains what they're doing with the Navi 21 processor. Ooh. So there is a possibility that we might be seeing the RX 6600 and all that good stuff. There are no mobile variants on the list. The G as in GXL models are not listed. The original list features Navi 10 refresh, but since some of the IDs are identical to the Navi 21, some people are not really sure if that's the name of the name of the GPU. So the Navi 21 XTX Radeon full die. The variant that's going to be similar to it will be the RX 5700 XT 50th anniversary. Then you have the Navi 21 XT. That'll be kind of like the RX 5700 XT, and then so on and so forth. Then you have some of the Navi 21 Pro XTAs, so Mac Radeon. So not really sure if we're talking about more like workstation stuff. I know with the 90s, the Navi 21 Pro XL, the Pro W5700, that's a workstation card. So that'll be kind of interesting to see the rest of the lineup. I would love to see which memory modules that they're going to be featured with. Is it going to be some of that super expensive HBM2 memory? I don't expect to see the HBM2E memory modules on there, as those are brand new and will be ungodly expensive. But if you ever would find one of those modules, I am sure it would mine Ethereum Classic like a monster. Moving right on along, talking about all this awesome AMD stuff. So AMD Matisse refresh the Ryzen XT. AMD is set to launch the Matisse refresh processors. This is an extension of the Matisse Ryzen 3000 series, just with new SKUs. And it's kind of interesting that instead of it just being like a Ryzen 3900, now it's going to be the Ryzen 3900 XT, 3800 XT, and the 3600 XT. I'm not sure exactly what the XT variant means. It's a replacement on the current SKUs. Are these going to be bin CPUs or whatnot? Really kind of interested to see where they're really going to fall, and are they going to be budget friendly, like just overclocked to the hilt. I don't think that it's going to pass up the like the Threadripper in performance wise, but it'd be interesting if this would be more geared towards gamers. So something to kind of combat Intel, possibly, with their their new 10900K series that runs uber hot. Great for gaming, just runs really hot. Not any good with power management. And now, whenever I'm building a PC, I don't care about power management. It's how they're displacing the heat from that power that they are using. No good in having a high performance hot rod that you can only drag race for a quarter mile and then you got to push it back because it just overheated. Not fun to me. But you can see where you can see that there's really no info coming out on them yet, except for the fact that the SKUs are definitely there. They haven't announced the performance on them quite yet, so soon as I find out, guys, I will let you know, and then I will do the research to see how it will mine Monero. I'm just saying. And then we have the, guys should know that we've got the Ryzen 4000G clocks speeds that are now, and OPN codes leaked. So looks like late Friday, BioStar leaked AMD's upcoming Rainier APUs. These are going to be the mobile variants. Rainier is the AM4 processor, AM4 chipset series. They will be featuring the 400G and the GE processors, which will be the 65 watt and the 35 watt respectively. This has been confirmed by Ryzen 7 4700G leak, where video cards themselves posted a picture of the processor itself. Most AMD motherboards released this week will be supporting the AMD Rainier APUs. In fact, some of the brands have already confirmed this in the B550 marketing materials or on the website. BioStar is one of the manufacturers that leaked the series through the CPU support list. So of course the G will be the granddaddy for your laptop, and the GE will be the dumbed down little brother. So me myself, I'm not really big on laptops just because of the fact that I do game. Putting aside gaming on there, these are going to be just as good as running an Intel in my opinion. Once you get into laptop mode, you shouldn't be expecting to have desktop performance. For one, you should be able to watch a movie on there, and do any kind of research or work related stuff that you need to do on there, school related, this, that, and the other. But when it comes down to a camera that's built into it, they're garbage. The speakers that are that they're built into it are mediocre. The microphone on it's garbage. So like trying to use it as for like video conferencing is like mediocre at best. I would always recommend doing that on a PC directly. Makes life a little bit easier for you. But all of the 4000 series will have graphics cores built into them. Of course, whenever you get into the GE series, you're going to be, nerfing it a little bit. But they've got 8-core graphics built in, 7-core and 6-core going down the product lineup from the Ryzen 7 to the Ryzen 3. So these should have some pretty decent. I'm kind of excited to see these ones come to desktop. I think that they should have some pretty good punch behind them. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Ooh. And then I kind of want to see that AMD 6600 or the RX 6600. Kind of excited to see something like that come rolling out. Hopefully AMD can make something work right out the gate. Please, AMD, if any of you guys ever watch this, don't rush to get it out. Just make a good product. If you can make a good product, you will get people to buy it. I'm telling you. With that being said, guys, definitely smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and share this video on your favorite platform. Helps me get my reach out to all of you awesome people, get all this great knowledge out to you for free, of course, unless you want to join the Patreon, and you can join up with DCA Your Mining. Ooh, be helping out me and my home dog, Mikkel. Helps out the whole team for the most part. So if there's something that the team needs, we basically throw it down onto that. So yeah, we got some good stuff. And I will definitely see you all. Turn that off on the next one. Yo!